What is shaking? You know how we like to do it on Mondays, unless I'm coming back from New Orleans. Then we like to do it on Tuesdays. My good friend Brent Jones joins us every single week throughout the football season. Number 84 in your program, number 1 in your hearts. Brent, as always, thank you very much.
Tommy, so good to see you. And
You're looking good.
Looking alive and outstanding, refreshed, I might say.
Yeah, you know. Well, you know what? You're a little older than me, I think. I'm 59, gonna be 60 in a few weeks.
I'm a little older.
Yeah, it's like I don't go out till 2 or 3 in the morning anymore. It's like now I'm not gonna say I wasn't up till 2, but we're up till 2 in the VRBO, like drinking beer, watching football games. that was the extent of it. I think we were at Bourbon Street till we ate on Bourbon Street. They went and got one hurricane, and then called it a night at like 7:30. Like that's kind of where I'm at now.
What would old Tom Tolbert say about that?
Oh, old Tom Tolbert would have just pummeled old Tom Tolbert.
New Tom.
The new Tom would have gotten pummeled by old Tom Tolbert, because old Tom Tolbert was there for the Super Bowl when the Packers played the Patriots, and I was there for a week, and I literally shut Bourbon down 4 a.m. 5 nights in a row. I mean, it was unbelievable. Now, not a chance. Like I could stay up till 4. That's not the problem. I'm just not going out and drinking and doing that kind of stuff, because I just give me my one hurricane. Say I had my hurricane. Let me get back to beer, and I'm good.
Look at you.
Yeah. I'm responsible, Brent. I'd like to think I'm getting more responsible.
Man, who knew before 60?
Yeah, who knew? Well, I'm not going to go too far. I'm not going to go too far. But a great weekend. LSU, Florida on Saturday, and then the Niners Saints on Sunday. And I tell you what, my main thought is it hasn't been pretty, but 2-0 on the road is 2-0 on the road. Now, out of what? I think they have 9 home games this year, too, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong on that, but if they do, then they're already down to like 9-6. Could be 9 at home, 6 on the road. Like, I don't care what the Saints are. I think the Seahawks could end up being pretty good, but hey, they're injured, they're battered, they're 2-0. It's a great start as far as I'm concerned.
It's a great start, and you got to give a lot of guys credit. Some unsung heroes, and I think that's what makes it special. And I know we talked about this last week, but for sure, last year this team's 0-2. Those are the games that we lost, right? We couldn't figure out a way to gut it out and find a way to win, make big plays when we needed it. Yep. Matt Jones was a machine on 3rd and long 3 or 4 times. And I mean, it was impressive, I got to say. He had a pretty good pocket there. Connor Colby stepped in, had a pretty solid job. You always worry when a lineman goes down, but golly sakes, it was pretty decent. We didn't start off great, and I was kind of thinking, oh, here we go. Like, there's no way. I think our first drive was like 10 seconds, 3 incomplete passes.
It was
like, whoa, that was brutal, quick. And it felt like the Saints were running the ball early, kind of like the week prior. And then all of a sudden, man, we kind of battened down the hatches and we got stronger against the run. Thank God the Saints, kind of choked up on their drive. Missed Olave, I think, missed a touchdown, and they missed the field goal. And it's so awesome to have that stuff happen to other teams instead of just us. So all in all, pretty good. So I got to know, when Eddie missed his first extra point, what did he do?
Oh, people were freaking out.
Oh my God.
People were freaking, because there was a large Niner contingency there. Like, there were a lot of Niner people there. So it was loud. And just oh, fuck. Oh, God. What can we get I was like, must be the uniform. It must be the uniform. Because I was like, bro, you can't do that on your first.
You cannot.
You're in a dome. You're in a dome on turf. Like, anything 50 and in should be a chip shot on inside, period. And when he missed it, I was like, all right, he hasn't kicked in a while, maybe some nerves, but it was just on top of all the Moody stuff. So you're thinking, oh no, are they ever going to find a kicker? And then he was solid after that. But yeah, the vibes in the stands were not solid when he missed that field, because people thought he made it. We were sitting off to the side. They go, "Oh, we finally got a kicker." And then they went, "No," and they go, "Oh, we missed it. Oh, we suck. Oh, we suck again."
It wasn't just a little miss, like right off his foot. I was like, "That's no good." I was
Clank.
Like, you gotta be kidding. The funny thing is, though, I regained my composure and realized, you know what? This is one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. He's not going to be Jake Moody. He's just not. His history tells us that he's not. He might not make every field goal. He's not going to kick 65-yarders. But, man, I just feel like it's a different day and age. And I'm really shocked that you got Moody fired. But outside of that,
what? What did I do?
I just decided to throw it on you.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I'm pretty sure it was you last week that said it's time. Although
he's okay. He signed on someone's practice. He's not.
Yeah, I think
Homeless.
Chicago got him. Look, I said the same thing. I said, look, because I stuck with him for as long as I could. I'm like, look, let him work this out. And then after last week, I'm like, okay, you can't go through another season of this. It's probably time. Yeah. And I think that's probably the way, Kyle and John felt about it. Like they wanted to give him every opportunity. And that's the problem with drafting kickers and drafting them high. They can be talented, but it's such a mental game, because now there's always going to be expectations on a kicker. Now you've just ramped those up, and everybody is in tune with the kicker now. Before the season ever starts, before he ever gets on the field for the first time, everybody's thinking about the kicker, because they're like, what the fuck? Why would we draft a kicker in the third round? Why would we draft a kicker? I remember Arguello got drafted in the second round by the Bucks. He was out of the league in a year. It's just it's already enough pressure, Brent. You put more pressure on him by drafting him high. It just doesn't end well.
Yeah, it's really true, because the level of expectations with the draft pick for a kicker or a punter is like, the guy better be amazing. And it might be the biggest transition, the position of kicker, going from the pressure in college to the pressure in the NFL. Although I guess you're playing at a big school, there's an awful lot of pressure. You got to hate being the kid on campus that lost the big game for everybody. So that probably sucks.
Exactly.
Now to come to think of it, that does.
Although I gotta say, the Raiders drafting Janikowski in the first round,
wow,
at the time seemed like brutal, but that turned out okay, actually.
Guy won a lot of games. He was a
lot of games.
Kicker.
And look at some of the first round.
If he would have been there in the second.
It may have been. But look at some of their first round draft picks. I guarantee you he was better than a lot of their first round draft picks with the Raiders.
Probably a majority of them.
Probably. So let's talk about Mac Jones, because I think I shorted him a little bit. I did like a little video walking out of the Superdome, put it on social media and stuff. And I said Mac Jones did what you'd hope a backup quarterback would do. Come in, run the offense, get the job done. And I think I shorted him. I think he was better than that. Like, he was more than that. That drive at the end of the first half was as good as you can do. Like, that was a really, really nice drive. So, that investment already paying dividends. And there's not a lot of teams that have a backup. Like, I think when I think backup, I think that's what you want a backup to do. Just hold things together and not be a complete spaz out there. But I think Mac Jones can be more than that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And let's face it, he's auditioning for his next stint.
Yep.
And he looked better than replacement level, right? Like you expect kind of a backup quarterback. Hey, just don't screw it up. But he went on the attack. Made some great throws, especially on third down. The Juwan Jennings touchdown throw was spectacular.
The McCaffrey one in the corner of the end zone.
Absolutely. Like,
that was sweet.
I was impressed. He hit Ricky Pearsall a couple times on some big plays, and I thought, you know what? That's the Mac Jones that the Patriots were hoping to see. He kind of, I don't know if he ever really materialized like they had hoped. Well, of course he didn't, but they had offensive coordinator changes. They had no receivers. They had some issues there as well. And so he's probably in a tough situation to develop, but taking a step back, maturing, starting to understand things that you don't understand when you're a first year or second year player has probably helped him. And then certainly being around Kyle and Brock Purdy, I guarantee you had an impact on him, but he looked very solid. You'd certainly say, yeah, he's in the top half of the NFL, looking at some of the quarterback play I saw around the league this week.
Ooh. That was rough. Well, you know what? It's funny because you go back to that draft in the Niners. That's when they traded the 3 picks or the 2 picks, however you want to slice it. They traded up all those picks to get Trey Lance. And I get the reasoning. They wanted to have a quarterback on a rookie contract, and then they could load up on everybody else, which is what they did. The problem is there wasn't anybody in that draft worth trading up for, and I'll even include Lawrence in that. Lawrence isn't worth all the draft capital they gave up. And then obviously Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. I mean, it was a bad draft to trade up because in retrospect, there's nobody worth trading up for in that draft. So look, sometimes you take a shot. They swung and they missed. I get why they did it. I like the reasoning. I like the logic of it. Just didn't work out. I mean, what are you going to do?
You know what? The best thing the 49ers did, and this is hard to do, is cut bait and move on. And they were unbelievably fortunate with the Brock Purdy selection and his rise to, a premier quarterback. But, a lot of teams hang on to their quarterbacks, especially a first rounder, always a year or two too long if they're not playing well. And just to kind of move on, the toughest thing is the human element. You feel sorry for the kid. I was glad he had a real good preseason. You root for him still, unless a guy is a real big, arrogant clown.
Yeah,
I want to root for guys, and there's very few people that you can point to that are over the top, arrogant and cocky, and think that they're all that when they're none of that. So the human element comes in, and so I still follow all those guys. Hope they do well. Justin Fields actually has looked better at times this year, and so, but Mac has probably got himself back on track, for lack of better terms. And so, yeah, I mean, he looked like he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL, which I don't know if that was my expectation coming into the game.
Yeah.
You can't tell anything by preseason, right?
Yeah.
Really
all right, I'm gonna digress here just for a second because you brought up arrogant a-holes, and I don't know if this guy's an arrogant a-hole. I don't think from the stories I've heard he was, but maybe a little unhinged. I don't know if you saw the Cowboys Netflix special. Pretty damn good.
Yes.
Although I have no idea why Jerry and Steve are on there. It's a show about the Cowboys. What are you doing helping the Cowboys?
It's a show about the owners. I think he had final editing there. Yeah, we were watching episode 5. I've been so psyched. I've been fired up. The playoff games. I was yelling at the TV. I was back engaged, and it kept being about Jerry and Steven and then Jimmy, and I turned it off, and Dan was like, "What? We're not going to watch the next episode?" I go, "No, I've had enough of Jerry." For now, I eventually will go back and watch the end of it, but it was I want to watch the players. I want to watch the owner. I get it. He's made a great investment. He had the right gut instinct to hire Jimmy Johnson early on. They had the Herschel Walker trade that parlayed into a lot of successful team. But the thing that drove me the most crazy is you have maybe one of the generational talented offensive lines in history. And they're not even mentioned. I'm in episode.
Not even mentioned.
They're not even acknowledged. So I don't know. But go ahead. I digress.
No, I was going to ask you. Charles Haley, was he unhinged?
Charles was unhinged. Yes, but and I mean, at the
he was really good. He was really good.
He was really good at the time. You think, you know what? Addition by subtraction, but then you come to realize there ain't a whole lot of Charles Haleys out there in the world.
Yeah,
and no matter what you think, nobody was going to create the havoc for offenses like Charles. And all I can remember thinking was, why didn't we trade him to the Cleveland Browns? Like, why would we trade him in the conference to a team that was setting up at the time to be our biggest rival?
Yeah.
And it hadn't happened yet, but that was the tipping point when we traded him. But Charles, and he would even tell you today, I mean, he was pretty funny in that thing. Like, there's 3 different Charleses, and we had the insane one most of the time. So it was uncomfortable in the locker room at times for almost anybody. So it was, but looking back,
well, Steve says those were the 2. Yep. What's that?
I'd take the discomfort. Cost me a couple rings.
Yeah, Steve, that's what Steve says. Steve says that the 2 biggest mistakes the Niners made were trading Charles Haley and letting Ricky Waters go. He goes, those 2. He goes,
I could have had 6 or 7 rings with those 2.
Yeah. You kidding me?
Man.
I mean, Ricky Waters was like ahead of his time the way he played back then, and he fit your offense. He fit your offense the way Christian McCaffrey fits this offense.
I agree with you 1,000%. You know, the only thing about Ricky is Ricky came in like into the huddle and like there's Jerry and there's JT and I'm sitting there and he's like, we got to get Ricky Waters the ball. We got to turn the water on. And I was like, Ricky, you're a young guy. You played 1 or 2 years. Like, get in line. But he competed his butt off, and that sucker worked so hard in practice. I love watching him run. He's a slasher, and I never thought we'd let him go. It was just getting used to his personality the first year, and of course Ricky dialed it back a little bit and understood. Yeah. Ricky is wicked smart. He knew the plays. He knew how everything fit into everything, and just such a great back. And then all of a sudden, we don't have him, and people are playing us nickel and dime on first down. I'm like, holy crap! Like, what the hell? And we still couldn't run the ball. And I was like, this is not going well.
Did he actually come into the huddle and say, "You got to turn the water on"?
Oh, absolutely. It's funny now, but then I wasn't. You
weren't laughing back then.
Yeah, when you've been around forever and you got all these guys all pros and everyone's looking at you and like, what? We got to turn the water on. We got to get me the ball.
Turn the water on.
We need to turn the water on. He's looking to the sideline. We got to get me the ball. Man, I love Rick too. Great human being, great dude, but man, he came in a little hot.
You gotta love the confidence. I know we got Jerry Rice, Brent Jones, John Taylor. Give me the ball.
JT would never say that. He just kind of look at you like, okay, I was wide open. JR would say it. You know, I would think it. Every now and then I'd say it, but quietly.
Unless you'd say it.
You'd done the death stare.
You'd say it if there was a bonus on the line.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's for sure too.
That's absolutely right. I want to get back to this in a little bit because I want to ask you about A.J. Brown and how to deal with that situation in Philadelphia. When you're getting paid a lot of money, you want to catch the ball, you want to be a playmaker, but the team's winning, and that's the way they win. So, but I put a pin in that for now. I'll go back to the Niner game yesterday. It felt good to have Kendrick Bourne back, didn't it? It almost felt like, that feels good.
you just felt confident, right? Like you saw him
Yeah.
out there, like, all right, we don't have guys I haven't heard of coming in to play receiver, and it just felt comfortable. So to just think, we brought in Kendrick and we got rid of our kicker, and those two little things kind of meshed and kind of made it a more comfortable game down the line. Once we got our feet under us, the start wasn't fantastic, but it was flowing well. And I was like, all right, we're playing all right. And, defense was flying around. And when you fly around on defense, things happen. And it just feels like we're much more aggressive than we've been the last couple of years. And maybe I'm just thinking Robert Saleh is in my head, and man, this is going to be the answer. We're going to attack instead of react. But it feels to me like it looks different. And so maybe I'm just in my own head, but
no, I think you're right. I think there is a different feeling to it. And I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if there is an explanation for it. You just kind of feel it like you're going to find a way to win, whereas you're going to find a way to lose. And I think teams feel it, and the fans feel it too when they're watching the game. Because I think it makes so much sense to me, Brent, when you say they'd be 0-2 last year. They would have been 0-2 last year. They don't win these games last year.
We couldn't have won any of those games last year for whatever reason. Injuries, banged up guys, just out of sync, lethargic, couldn't stop the run. Fred Warner was running around. It felt like Fred versus whoever's offense we were playing. I got to say, speaking of which, it's funny for us to kind of start and focus on the defensive side, but Michael Williams was making some plays, and he really was solid and getting some penetration as well. And I'm thinking, and a guy that we don't talk about is Gross Matos. Is it Yetur? Is it Yetur? How do you say his first name?
I think it's Yetur.
Oh, Yetur. Get out of here.
I think it's Yetur Gross Matos. But I could be wrong on that. I could be dead wrong.
So
I'm only
just
feeling
like I
50.
said, we don't talk about him.
I feel like I'm only 50-50 on that.
I'm going to call him YGM. YGM, like he makes plays way more than we talk about, and has. And you're like, okay, that could just be fluky, or he just got in. But that sucker can play.
Remember, he was a stud at Penn State.
Penetration,
he was big time. No, I agree with you. Michael Williams made plays. I mean, look, we could, if we wanted to, we could come on here every week and talk about the greatness of Fred Warner.
That goes without saying. But to have a partner in crime, D. Winters changes our
defense. He's balling.
Man, that's
absolutely balling. And he even got a 15-yard penalty just to make us feel like Greenlaw's still around. So cool.
I almost celebrated it, but I was like, oh, man, can't we just get right? But, if we had been up 2 touchdowns, I would have taken that one all day long and been like, yeah, baby, that's what we're talking about. And so, but yes, it did feel very, very similar. It almost felt like Groundhog Day.
No, it felt good. And McCaffrey, I think only had, 19 touches, 13 carries, 6 catches. So I think 32 was the number last week. So a lot, like 13 less than last week. So that was good. And again, I think they're going to go at some point this season. Well, I shouldn't say that because you never know everyone's going to stay healthy, but it's possible they could go from a paucity of receivers to a plethora of receivers, because when Ayuk when Ayuk comes back, you could have Ayuk, Pearsall, Juwan, Bourne, Cowings. I mean, you could have a whole bunch of dudes that are out there. Yeah, you could have a whole bunch of dudes that are out there. Yeah, exactly. He'll be back in week 4
last year for the Rams.
He did. No, he's like a reliable, kind of like a 3. So no. That'd be a good problem to have a whole bunch of receivers, wouldn't it?
It would be a great problem to have. We need healthy bodies. And the game started off like, here we go again. We got our guard hurt. We got somebody else. I remember ready. I was like, I got to talk about Kyle Juszczyk on the podcast, because he's like, he's unsung. He does some great things, and we've talked about it before. And then all of a sudden he's out of the game. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I have to say, I've heard very positive reports about Brock today. I was getting a little nervous the last 24 hours with the Joe Burrow toe thing. Like, when was the last time you heard two starting premier quarterbacks out with a toe? And I started thinking, and he went right to 3-month surgery. And I thought, holy crap, is something going on with Brock that we don't know about? Is that on the table? But it sounded like everything's good. But what, man, the Bengals are screwed.
No, they are. 3 months.
The running looked pretty good, but I don't think you can hold that. I mean, you don't want Joe Burrow out for the season.
No. I mean, a bunch of quarterbacks got hurt. I mean, McCarthy got hurt. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. Fields like a concussion protocol. Jaden Daniels had a sprained knee or something. So they didn't say he'd be out this week. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the NFL. And you realize that's why they protect quarterbacks. Because you lose a quarterback, your season's over. And then it just makes the product a lot less enjoyable to watch. Like if I'm watching, let's say I'm watching the Commanders and the Packers like I did last week, and you get Love and Daniels, you're like, okay, this will be a pretty fun matchup. I'm looking forward to it. You get both matchups, you're like, I could watch something else. It's okay.
Yeah. Is Dateline on?
I mean, Dateline. Look at you. Look at you. Oh my gosh. And in the wooded forest of South Carolina.
There you go. I wonder who did it.
In like the first 5 minutes, you're like, Sam.
We always say you have to make your call in the first 5 minutes, no matter what, when we watch.
Yeah, usually you nail it too. Usually, because they try to lead you, they're trying to lead you a different direction, and then you're like, well, it's not who they're leading me to, so let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go them. They got beady eyes.
Guys, sometimes
they got beady eyes. Let's go with them. So I was thinking, we were talking about this yesterday. If they can just split the next two, like go 2-0 would be incredible. But if you could just split and be 3-1 heading into October with all the injuries that you've had to deal with, man, I think you take that right now and just move on into October. I mean, they seem to always have trouble with Arizona, and they have trouble with Kyler Murray for whatever reason. Yeah. But if they can get one of the next two, 3-1 sounds good to me. I mean, 2-0 would be great, but don't get me wrong, but I'll take a split right now and move on.
You're going to take your split.
I'll take my split.
I'm a little more greedy than you. I want to win them all right now. But
okay. But I want to.
I know what you're saying.
Of course I want to.
With all the injuries, with the way that, Kittle on the sidelines, Ayuk hasn't officially come back. Now Brock Purdy's hurt. Yes, I absolutely hear you. I would take it. For sure, I would have taken it the minute I heard Kittle was hurt and all of our receivers are banged up. Yeah. But the fact that we're 2-0 now makes you greedy for 3-0.
Yeah.
4-0. But
what's the biggest
confidence? We're gaining? We're gaining reps for those young defensive guys.
Yeah.
Yep. It's starting to show up. Now, first drive or two in both games, they weren't, but it's like they made adjustments. They did, and all of a sudden, bang, they're back. Playing solid, getting penetration in the line. They weren't getting the push that they were in the first couple drives, and all of a sudden, the rest of the game, everything kind of solidified. Although the Saints are better. I thought Spencer Rattler was better than I have given him credit for. He made some pretty good throws. He made some pretty good throws. He didn't look like
that was the best
Spencer
I've seen
Rattler
him
of years past.
Yeah, we need to get. Here's one trait I think you need in a DB, and this is one where Upton Stout got called for the PI in the end zone. I'm like, bro, you can't grab somebody's arm and then look at the official and go, you grabbed his arm. You grabbed his arm. Oh, let me digress before I get to that. But when you're a player, if you knew you held or you knew you committed the infraction, you got caught, they called you. Did you do this just to make it seem like I don't know what they're talking about. So your coaches didn't like look at you and go, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, they're eventually going to find out when they look on film, but you'll deal with that on Monday. I just don't want to deal with it right now. So did you do this knowing absolutely I'm guilty, but I'm just going to play it off like I'm not?
I don't think I ever did that. If I got called, I'd be bummed. Like, damn, I got caught. But I wasn't a big like. Are you kidding me?
NBA does it all the time now. NBA's like, then they show and they rake them across. I'm like, what? What are you there to give you a technical for that? Like, don't complain on that, or don't ask for a replay when you clearly butchered the man. What are you doing? Drives me nuts.
It does drive me nuts, but DBs drive me the most nuts when they're grabbing and holding 20 yards downfield, and then here comes the ball, and they rake the guy's arm, and there's a flag. There could have been 4 flags, and they throw a flag, and the guy's like, "What? Like, are you kidding me?" Like, I was all over him. I was the blanket. Like,
I was the blanket.
It's so bad. It really it's bad. No DB has ever thought they've pass interfered, held, grabbed, or done anything.
No,
they never do.
They never do.
No,
I mean, everything's stacked against them, but still, at least own up to your felonious activities on the field.
I almost don't know how to call it now because it's supposed to be 5 yards, and then 15 yards down the field, the guy's grabbing his jerseys and arm fighting, and they let it go. A lot of times, and they can call it almost every. It's like holding on alignment. You can almost call it every play if you want to look for it. I feel the same way. DBs have gotten super aggressive about holding because my guess is they're only caught 1 out of 8 times.
Yeah.
I
was going to say with Upton Stout, that's the only thing I've seen from him that he gets a little nervous when the ball's in the air sometimes. Like that to me, I was going to say that to me is the best trait a DB can have. And you saw right there. He played a good game. Had 5 tackles and a sack.
But
he just had a couple times he just has gotten a little like handsy and a little like I won't say panicky, but again, you see DBs that are calm with the balls in the air, and some are just like, I just start spazzing out and grabbing guys and hit them too early and grab them because like, oh God, the ball's in the air. But I'm guessing that he's a rookie, so that's to be expected a little bit. But
I love a rookie that flies around and is aggressive versus a passive head down rookie. I think Upton Stout will be one of these guys that we talk about week in and week out. That is gradually going to get better, like Williams, and we've got some guys that we hadn't even mentioned yet. While we're on the subject, we've got to teach our DBs, like when a guy's hands go up, when it's that last second the ball's come down, you got to get your head around. Like Renardo Green had one, and I was like, man, just turn your head around, and we're going to break it up or intercept it, but I guess it's harder to do because otherwise everybody would do it. But I think it happens so often that maybe they think that the minute they turn their head around, the ball's going to go whizzing by their ear.
Well, yeah. I think to me, because I got extensive experience playing DB at all levels. I think if you turn your head, you probably lose a half a stride. And they feel like that's enough. And I think you're right. I think they feel like I'm going to turn. I'm not going to be able to track the ball. So they're just content with keeping my head on the receiver and putting my hand between his hands and just trying to jar that thing loose somehow. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, which is why, and you would know this, you don't really realize this is a something you need to acquire as a receiver. You can't let your eyes betray you too soon, and you can't lift up your hands too soon. Like late eyes and late hands, you see receivers that have those. DBs are at their mercy because they're just like the ball's almost there, and it's like they don't look, they don't catch. You don't have enough time. But if I'm looking at it for 3 seconds before it comes in, then the DB can line you up, and you're toast.
It's very true.
Was that hard to learn? Hard trait to learn?
I'd love to to think back and think, how did I learn that? But you kind of learn it as you progress. And, you know, I was a wide receiver before I was a tight end. So I kind of feel like you start to get more adept at some of the little tricks of the trade. Or even throwing your hands up on a move or turning your head. You know, just a little head turn can get a guy to move a yard or two. And so,
head turn and then go the other way.
Yeah, you learn it, and it's good. And some guys react different than others. Some guys react to it. Some guys, but yeah, the more that you can look like a decoy, the better advantage you have.
Yeah. Who was? Let me ask you. Okay, I'm just thinking of stuff now because I do want to get back to the AJ Brown thing, and then some other NFL stuff. Who was the best you played with at running routes full out when they were third in the progression, and who was the worst at running routes when they knew the ball wasn't coming their way?
That is a brutal question. I think there were times where JR and JT were really good at making it seem like they were going to get the ball. The thing is, sometimes in our offense, you're going to get the ball even though you're the third progression because of certain coverage or a guy or Jerry ran by a guy or JT. I don't know that we ever had any really bad slackers on routes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you played for championship
to be honest,
teams.
No, Roger Craig ran full tilt all the time. Rathman, Rathman is such an underrated receiver, and that's why I was going to talk about Kyle Juszczyk. Yeah. It's to have that fifth guy that nobody really accounts for be able to get open and catch the ball that's a big deal. It really is. But yeah, I'd love to think like, who did we have that would not be happy that they had to run a clear route? Because nobody's ever happy.
Yeah. Just sprint for no good reason.
Yeah, just sprint for no good. I would always tell myself, what if it's that one time that Joe or Steve is going to throw it to you because they think you're open. Woohoo! So
and it never came.
And you understand the complexity of the play. Like you're clearing out an area that really matters, right? So you don't want to get your guy lit up because your guy came off you because you were going 3/4. So.
Yeah. I was just thinking because I know I always appreciated that about T.O. T.O., like, he ran hard all the time.
T.O. worked his butt off. Like,
worked his butt off, locked his ass off.
They kind of came across as confident or outspoken, but all of our quote more outspoken guys worked their butts off in practice. We didn't have anybody that was a loafer. And you look at the league now, there's a lot of outspoken guys that are loafing or taking plays off or not practice players. We never had anybody like that. That wasn't allowed on our team.
Well, you don't do what you guys did and have those type of players on the team.
They would, if they were like that, they'd change immediately and you'd never know the difference, or else they weren't around very long. But yeah, T.O. worked his butt off. Ricky, Charles Haley worked his butt off. You name it. Everybody worked hard in practice because if you run routes and you play in practice at full speed, then you're going to play the same way in a game. And I think that it absolutely carries over. The time.
It's a good segue into what's going on with the Eagles and AJ Brown's. AJ Brown, one of the best receivers in the game. He's just not getting the ball. They're not throwing him the ball. He caught like 2 or 3 balls at the end of the first half. last game against the Chiefs. That was about it. I think he caught one ball against the Cowboys opening night, and that was like in the last minute of the game.
Yep.
I mean, this is like a legitimate number one receiver, and he's not getting the ball. Yet they're winning, and this is a formula that they have. It's like they're going to run the ball with Hurts, with Saquon, try to throw it a little bit, and let the defensive line and offensive line kind of take over. You have a guy you're paying a lot of money to, and I'm sure A.J. Brown wants to, look, I get it. They're paying you this money. Just go out there and do your job and do what's asked of you. There's that part of me that thinks, okay. But there's also part of me that thinks, well, he's still in the prime of his career and he wants to get out there and play and see what he can do and test himself. And everybody has an ego. Everybody wants to put up numbers, whether they admit to it or not. I mean, everybody does. So, like, how do you handle that if, like, you're him, you're the Eagles? Let me ask you about him first. Like, do you just say, just use me how you want to use me? We're winning. You're paying me money. I'm going to play as hard and practice as hard as I can. Do you go to management and say, "Guy, I'd like to do more. This kind of, I know I can do more," without saying, "God, if our fucking quarterback could throw, maybe we could do more." But how do you handle that? A guy that has that much talent is probably frustrated, but yet you're winning, so you can't really complain.
Yeah, you can certainly complain behind the scenes, which I'm sure he's doing. And I think it's gonna explode here one of these games. I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen this last week. But yeah, wide receivers, it's hardest because when you're a receiver, you can play every defensive spot, you can play most offensive spots, but the one position where you're relying on someone else to make you successful is wide receiver, right? And sometimes tight end, but you're blocking. But nobody ever said, man, look at that A.J. Brown. He blocked so good. He blocked those DBs all game.
Yeah.
That's not how you're judged. And so you have to have the quarterback throw you the ball, or you have to have the offensive coordinator call more pass plays. And I think A.J. Brown's usefulness kind of went by the wayside the minute Saquon Barkley stepped up last year. And I think, and I know Devontae Smith is solid, but, and he's good at times, but then he'll disappear the same way because, like you said, it might be a tight end and running back offense. So I think that A.J. Brown, I think that the Eagles could win just as many games with an A.J. Brown replacement. And that sounds crazy because I do believe he's kind of a 7 or 8, 9 balls a game guy. And it rarely happens for him. My guess is he has won a Super Bowl. So he cares about winning, but maybe not as much as having great stats and being all pro and being the man. And it's really hard to separate those sometimes because of your personal experience versus the team. And in the old days, it always felt like it was team first. And if you were frustrated, you would keep it in-house. Nowadays, that's not the case. And so my guess is something's going to happen there before the end of the season because I think there's always been some type of friction between him and his quarterback. And I don't know what it is, but maybe it should be the offensive coordinator, maybe it should be whatever. But you feel, and I know he feels like he is underutilized and a waste of talent. He's got his money, but he wants to prove he wants to be on the highlight films every week. He wants to be scoring touchdowns. And the guy is one hell of a receiver. I believe that. But I believe that the frustration will boil over at some point this season.
I mean, that catch he made at the end of the first half, that one-handed stab where he was falling forward, that catch was insane. I mean, it was only for 7 yards, but it's still an insane catch. The problem is they're winning doing it this way. Here's what I think. I think it'll blow up when they lose a game. When they lose a game and throw for 110 yards, then it's going to be like, well, If you'd throw it to me a little bit more, maybe we wouldn't have lost that game. That's because, I mean, nothing looks worse than somebody that complains when you're winning.
Yeah.
It just,
I
you look like
agree.
an ass.
But do you think today's wide receiver, today's high profile wide receiver is worried about that? I think after 2 or 3 games, he has 6 catches on 9 targets for 35 yards this season. So he's only 6 catches more than me and you. If this happens another game or two, I'm predicting fireworks, even if they win. It's just going to happen. You know it. And so I don't know if today's wide receivers, I promise you, Justin Jefferson is unhappy.
Yes, no doubt.
He's unhappy. And I know, and we talked about this, they anointed J.J. McCarthy like the next coming, and he played in 2 preseason games. He had one good half of football so far this year. I don't know that it's where it even needs to be on a serviceable quarterback. Like, he looks like a rookie in my mind. And so there could be trouble brewing there as well. It's going to happen.
Although I was pretty pumped because I was scuffling in my fantasy league, and I was going up against a guy that had Jefferson. I was like, "Oh, I'm actually going to have a chance to win this." And he wasn't very good. And then Geno Smith was my quarterback.
You scuffled all right.
7 points. How do you get 7 points in fantasy from your quarterback? Like, it's literally impossible.
It's almost
to get
impossible.
7 points.
That's
unbelievable.
Too bad. Remember, didn't you ask me what was my last week? You said, what was your obvious don't draft? And you could not believe I said Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good call because of JJ McCarthy.
I wholeheartedly did not believe.
God, my team is brutal. My team sucks. I need to get that. I don't know. Although I did I hate it. It sounds weird to say I lucked out that someone got hurt, but I did luck out that that someone got hurt when Austin Eckler went out for the year. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. It's a JCM era. Let's go, Bill.
Did you celebrate that injury?
I might have taken a swig of beer. Yeah, I might have been like, okay, here we go. I'm back in this thing.
The irony is I have both of those guys on one of my teams too.
Do you really?
Yeah. And so I didn't celebrate. All I thought was, okay, well, at least now we get one guy gets all the carries, and that'll be better than the split decision thing. But,
yeah, so you had both of them. I have one, so I was. Wow. I mean, like, it wasn't a full celebration, but it was like, I took a long pull of the beer and I went.
You didn't go. Take that.
No, I didn't do that.
That is so hard. That's so brutal. But I promise you, anybody that plays fantasy, they are not feeling bad very long.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, where do you make of where the before we go, I don't want to go too much longer, but I want to get back to what you think about the Cardinal game this week. But what about the Chiefs right now? I mean, when they get Worthy back and Rice back, does that open up the offense enough? Because the defense is still good. Chris Jones is just such a stud. Although I did like what Jalen Hurts said to him yesterday. Apparently, at the end of the game, he looked across the line and said, "You threw for over 100 yards. Shut up." And Jalen Hurts said, "We're going to win the game. Shut the fuck up." Which is what you should. What are you doing talking smack when you're losing? I'm sorry. The rules of engagement have changed apparently because when you lose,
100 yards passing. Take that, baby.
It used to be when you lose, you just try to get out of there as quickly as possible. You don't want to talk. You're just like, let me go. I mean, they got Mahomes. Obviously, do they figure this thing out? Is that enough to get the offense going in the right direction?
I think that I think that defense, and I never thought I'd say this, but I think that defense will carry them long enough to get their guys back and healthy. And Rice is legit.
Yeah.
That guy can play and he can separate. And Worthy, we know he has some speed. Depending on how he reacts with an injured shoulder,
Yeah.
it might take a week or two to get comfortable and it kind of heals up instead of keep getting banged up. But yeah, that'll give Mahomes some weapons. You can see Kelsey's he's okay, but he's not the same as he used to be. So he can't dictate outcomes. He just feels like he's slower and more methodical. It doesn't mean he hasn't been amazing, but he dropped a couple of big ones that mattered. Slow on getting his head up, slow on getting his hands up. It just feels like it's not. And let's face it, it happens with age. But yeah, I think that they're going to be okay, believe it or not. I don't know that they're going to be competing for the Super Bowl in the AFC this year, because home field advantage is always a big deal for them as well. But I think that they're going to be okay, and it's early in the season. I think they're struggling at their running game is not much right now.
I know.
Has never, for whatever reason, just seemed like the end of last year and the beginning of this year. And Kareem Hunt is a beast still, but I don't think he consistently can be a beast. So
yeah, I think the Chargers might be pretty good.
I think the Chargers might be pretty good. How about our man who's got it better than us, Jimmy? Because he is the guy's a beauty. I mean, he is in real life, and I know him, and I enjoy him for who he is. He can be awkward, but that sucker has to go down as one of the best football coaches of our generation, because no matter where he's been, he's taken crap and turned it into diamonds. And it's remarkable what he does. He comes in, he makes teams tougher. He makes them believe. He has structure. Yep. And they're all on the same page. And guys that aren't on the same page aren't around. And it's his formula has worked every single place he's been. I don't know if you can point to one specific coach, excuse me, that has done that in their career at so many places. Obviously, there's great coaches and they've done well, but his formula is take a big pile of dog do team and turn them around. And he does it methodically, does it rather quickly, and all of a sudden they're disciplined. They're not out of control on the field. Everybody knows their assignments. There's a togetherness in the locker room. There's the who's got it better than us. Nobody, not your last 5 teams that you coach.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And they're physical.
Yeah. That's
like his teams are physical.
Very physical. They're old school football. They're disciplined. They're I've said this now 3 times. They're structured. They're physical because they play with proper technique, and he teaches technique, and that's what makes it all work. And you get guys to buy in, and watch out, it can flip that quickly. And so, great hire by the Chargers. That's exactly what they needed, because they're the Chargers wandering around in the woods for years and years.
Well, he reminds me a lot, because I remember he reminds me a lot of Bill Walsh, because I remember, God, this must have been in the late 80s, watching Walsh before the games on the sidelines put on gloves and throw the ball with the quarter with Joe Montana. He had gloves on and throwing the ball. Can you imagine Walsh having gloves on the sideline and throw like Harbaugh? Let's say that Harbaugh literally has 2 gloves on and he's out there throwing the ball. And I'm
he's serious
he's
too.
A beauty.
He knows people are grading his technique. he can still wing it.
Bro, he was at the A's game. I saw him at an A's game like 10 years ago or something. Probably when he was still here. And he's out there. He got his glove on at the ballpark,
sitting in the stands like a little kid. He's a beauty. He is a beauty. And you know who should have hired him? And to this day, I can't believe it, but he would have been, and he's a great fit for any team, but he's what the Bears needed. That was his team.
Yes.
They just choked the lights out. That was their chance to actually matter, but they won't.
Because they're the Bears.
Yeah.
I mean, just the Bears. I mean, at least they're not the Browns.
You know, I got to bring up a Brown thing
every single week. You got to bring up Cleveland.
Myles Garrett's the man, though.
He is definitely the man. What is it about Cleveland that like they're always like just because they've always been bad? Because they weren't bad when you played.
No.
The Browns of the '80s were actually a pretty good team.
Browns
and
of the 80s
wasn't for the Broncos, they might have had a Super Bowl appearance back then. They had some good players on that team.
Well, if you think about it, the Browns of the 80s are the Ravens. And
true.
And the Browns of the 2000 are the expansion team. And
yeah, that's right.
They've never it's just been like a
Who were their running backs back then? Was it Mack?
Oh yeah.
And Bynum? Was Bynum one of them?
Yeah. Did Mack or Reggie Bynum drop that pass in the end zone against the Broncos?
Oh, I think that was Mack.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
That was rough.
They were good. They were a good combo back then.
But, and then remember Brian Sipe threw that pick against the Raiders in the playoffs? Like, bro, what are you doing? Just kick the field goal. God. Freaking unbelievable.
Good memories.
Sipe.
You know, we played the Browns. Belichick was coaching, and I mean, it was a brutal game. But the night before the game, that afternoon, we had some time off, and it was going to be the last Indian game at Memorial Stadium. So I went and went to the game. Like that was a cool old stadium. Went and saw the old Cleveland Indians play.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Did you ever collect stuff from stadiums like sod or anything? Any mementos, knickknacks, whatever? That
great question. No, but we did end up getting a couple of seats from Candlestick that I have up in one of my rooms here at the house, and it's kind of cool. A buddy of mine put together this great wooden bench, and it kind of has 84 on the wood, and then
does it
in there? So yeah, it's
nice.
You know what? I'm sad that Candlestick's not around anymore. It was brutal, but it was our brutal stadium.
Yeah, but everybody's sad. Everybody that talks about Candlestick, like in theory, like, oh, I really miss it, but will you want to go back? Not really. No, no, I don't want to go back because you know what? They missed the memories.
Like the tunnel coming out to the field.
It was brutal.
I swear there was a dead body buried somewhere back in one of those little crevices.
I mean, people love it because it's some memories, right? You're tailgating.
Yes.
You remember Giant games. You remember Niner games.
Yeah, I mean
playoff games, all that stuff. I mean, that's what you miss, and those memories were in that ballpark. But I mean, come on. That ballpark was let's go, like let's move on. Like everybody gets like totally. Oh, I wish no, you don't. You want the new ballpark, but you don't have the memories.
That's true.
You miss the memories.
It's nasty. I was at Levi's last week, and it was spectacular. They've got some new massive jumbotrons, 4K, just lighted up, and I think they spent $200 or $300 million redoing some of the stadium, and I'm telling you, it was spectacular.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to get down there. I'll definitely be down there when you're here, getting your number retired.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait for that. That's gonna be awesome. Can I wear shorts?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Yeah. I don't want to wear pants. I can probably dig up a pair.
All my buddies are like, because they've all followed you for all these years, and they don't care if Steve Young or Jerry Rice or Joe Montana coming. Is Tolbert coming?
Please don't say that, because that ain't true. That ain't true.
It is true. I happened 3 times this last week. 3 different guys asked me.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. All right, let's get to the Cardinals before we wrap it up. Look, it seems like the Niners have always had issues with running quarterbacks. Now, I don't know if it's more or less than other teams because I don't follow all the other teams and how they do against all the running quarterbacks. I just know when a running quarterback plays against the Niners, they usually chew the Niners up pretty good. And Kyler Murray's had some good games against the Niners.
Yes.
I mean, look, and Connor, I remember last year, Connor just killed him, especially in the second half at home. Connor just ran all over him, and he's had big games.
It was brutal. Yeah.
It was brutal. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been okay. McBride's kind of their biggest threat offensively. But what do you look at when you look at the Cardinals coming in here? I always say if you could keep Kyler Murray hemmed in the pocket, don't let him get outside, and make him beat you from the pocket if possible. And then you got to stop the running game, which they've done a pretty good job of for the most part. They have a good chance to win this game. Absolutely.
I agree. But it's not like, your parents' Cardinals. They're better.
Yes.
They've flown under the radar. They do have some talent. Sometimes they can't put it all together. I think they're better on defense, but not dominant. But certainly Kyler Murray scares me when you have to contain him, because our guys, Bosa, you want Bosa at full tilt and getting up field and using. And if you think of saying, well, Nick, you need to contain, that takes just a little of the edge off. So I get it. I don't know if we're going to spy him on some plays. I wouldn't mind having Stout maybe spy him a little bit. We had him close to the line and blitzed a few times last week. I thought it was he did a pretty good job at it. He didn't look like a fish out of water. Some of those things, but man, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been. There's always been a lot of talk, but he hasn't really turned the corner yet. So you mentioned McBride is their best weapon, the tight end. He's Kittle for them. And so that's really where you have to stop them. They can make plays downfield, but you just don't want Kyler Murray out of the pocket. He throws the ball well out of the pocket and can scramble his tail off. And he's tough to tackle. Let's face it. He's he's probably 5'7" and has super shifty, so he's a smaller target. He doesn't have really long legs, so he's not an obvious easy guy to tackle. And he has burst and he has shiftiness that scares you. So that's always the number one, is you got to contain him. You got to play discipline. Do I think about last year's style of defense and our defensive coordinators? I think, I don't want that matchup. But Robert Saleh knows what he's doing, and he's going to have those focused and structured. So I kind of feel like I can sleep at night, like, oh my gosh, I can't stop thinking about Kyler Murray running around. Or our defense certainly has improved. We're not going to have Connor running over us like we did last year. D. Winters is not going to allow that. We already know Fred's not going to allow that, but at least he has somebody alongside of him that make a tackle and not quit during the game. And our defensive line it's starting to come together. We haven't done it for a full game yet, but we have young guys. But I feel like we've got a good group. Guy we didn't even talk about. Hey, Bryce Huff had 10 sacks for Saleh a couple years ago. I know he was down last year, but man, he was shot out of a cannon that last play. So,
he was.
I think he had 28 snaps. We start getting him up to speed and bringing it in. We've got some weapons on the defensive side of the ball that can really create havoc. And so I'm hopeful. We can't get overconfident. It's week 3, but I feel pretty good about our chances against the Cardinals.
No, I agree. Like, I think Gannon's a good coach. I wasn't.
You know what? You're right.
I forget what he said. He had a speech before his first game, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's a dud." this guy's not going to happen. It was almost like Campbell with the knee biting. I'm like, okay, this guy's a dud. Get him. They're not going to do anything. And then boom, obviously they're much different, but yeah, Gannon, the defense is better. By the way, Calais Campbell is like the ninth wonder of the world. How is that guy at that age, at that position, still doing what he's doing?
Man, I thought about that the other day when I was watching him, and it's pretty impressive.
It's massive.
It's not going to be like a walkover. So, yeah.
How old is he?
Armando says, keep contain on Murray and group tackle James Conner. Armando for defensive coordinator.
How old do you think Calais Campbell is?
Is he 36?
39.
Come on. Are you
39 playing defensive line and still playing it well?
What the heck? That is the ninth wonder of the world.
It really is.
He had 2 sacks. Old, but I mean, that's ancient. That's unheard of.
Unheard of for defensive linemen and to play that well. Wow.
The
only thing I'll say about this, about putting a spy on Kyler Murray that scares me, is when you get a quarterback that's that shifty and that fast and they beat the spy, then you're really screwed. Like if you don't have someone you think can tackle him in the open field, then it's like, well, why am I let me just put him back here and defend somebody rather than be up at the line of scrimmage and then Kyler beats him too. Then you're like, oh, now we're really screwed.
Can't have your spy getting juked.
if your spy is getting barbecued, you are in trouble.
It's no bueno.
You are in
that spy day for sure.
You're in deep trouble. All right, before we let you go, how'd the high school team do this weekend?
The Dragons, South Lake Dragons, went into our local rival who beat them a couple years ago for their first time in their school history. But it was a beatdown, 52-3.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was not there. I wait till the weather's a little cooler and then I go, and then I'm on the bandwagon all through the season and through the playoffs. But have you seen my sweet new style 49er rivalry gold hat?
No, I kind of like that.
It's sweet. I was like, will that work? The gold and the black? It
does work.
If I can pat myself on the back, it's sweet.
Now you can pat yourself on the back. I kind of noticed it. Where'd you get that?
I got it at the 49er store at the stadium.
You didn't go in there and like buy it, did you?
I tried. They wouldn't let me buy
it. You tried to buy it?
I did.
They said your money's no good.
My man Ian that runs the store is a stud. He loaded me up with stuff, and I'm like, you got to let me pay. And they're like, no way, which was super cool. So
that's sweet. So when's my hat coming?
I'm telling you, people are going to want this sucker. You're going to see a lot of them.
I should get one of those.
I'll work on it for you.
Nah, it's okay. I'd rather have a South Lake Dragon.
That's a sweet green D.
I do like the emerald D on the front.
Oh, baby.
That was pretty sharp. That was pretty sharp. All right, my friend, I will let you be on the way. It is hot here in Alameda. It might even be as hot as it is in Dallas. I think it's like 78 here today.
Yeah, I think probably 95 here.
I don't know how you do it. I guess AC. That's the only way you can do it. All right, brother. I will again, thank you so much. Always appreciate it. It's always great catching up with you. And I'll look forward to doing it again next. And from now on, I'm not traveling anymore. So we should be good to go for Mondays.
Love it. I blocked out all the Mondays and I forgot you were traveling. So you had me all spun around. That's okay.
I'm back. Mondays are good. That's what it's going to be the rest of the year.
3-0, baby. 3-0.
There you go.
You know what? Cardinals are going to come up just a little short this week.
I like it. I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good game. And when I said 3-1, I'd be happy. I'd like 4-0 as well. I'm just saying 3-1. I'd be like, okay, we're good. But yeah, if they could just keep Murray, take care of the run game between the tackles defensively, and don't let Murray do too much stupid stuff running around outside. And I think they're gonna have a good shot to win this game. I really do.
I think so. I think you and I should throw in our game plan and just let them execute it.
Let's get a laminated chart and send it to Kyle.
He would love that.
It'll just be 4 big plays. We do quadrants. Like, just keep running them over and over again.
Contain, tackle,
contain.
No
That's
stupid
it.
things. No special teams breakdowns.
No blunders. Make your extra points. Be good. All right. Tell Dan and the family I said hi.
All right, brother. I will.
All right, Brent. I'll talk to you.
See you, Tommy.
See you, Brent. All right, that was Brent Jones again. Tuesday, we're gonna do it Mondays from now on at 1:00. I think we're doing 1:00 on Mondays. Of course, I was traveling yesterday, so all right, that is it. We're done. If you got any comments, I can take them real quick before we get out of here. But not a lot. I try to spend most of my time. We'll have to get Brent on the kind of wide. Maybe we'll look next week. We'll look at the NFL broad scope. I mean, Caleb Johnson, Steelers. Got to know your kickoff rules. I'm just like going through the Bills. Bills might be that team again this year. Lions seemed personal, didn't it? It seemed personal. Browns, please. Patriots, Dolphins, nothing there. Bengals, brutal, just brutal. They lose Burrow. It's like season's over. Thanks for coming. Panthers, Cardinals. That game wasn't as close. Boy, if you had the Cardinals land the points, ouch. That was like 27-6. You just gave up a boatload. Although Steichen for the Colts, are you playing for? Are we literally playing for 60-yard field goals at the end of games now? You're just going to be conservative and play for field goals. And thank goodness, if you're a Colts fan anyway, I missed the field goal. Oh, but you got the penalty. You got a reprieve, 15-yard penalty for leverage play. Leverage McLeverage. And 15 yards closer, make the field goal and win by 1. Talked a little about the Eagles and the Chiefs. Vikings. It's Wentz time. See if Wentz can get it done. Chargers look like they could be that team. That defense could be nasty this year. And then again, count me in on Baker. I'm a Baker Mayfield guy. Never used to be a Baker Mayfield guy until about 2-3 years ago. I'm a Baker Mayfield guy. That guy's a badass. And for those that think, oh gosh, I can tell when a quarterback's good in the first year. CJ Stroud, Exhibit 500. Still don't know if he's good or not. I have no idea. I thought Trevor Lawrence was really good. So, I mean, there's some good ones last year, but is Williams going to be any good? Don't know. I think Daniels will be good, but don't know that either. So, anyway, give the quarterbacks a few years. I know it's tough, because you want to know right away whether the quarterback's going to be good or not. He's great. That's why when Purdy was doing his thing, I'm like, give him a full year. Give him a full year and a half. Let me just watch the kid do his thing. And now I'm convinced he's a guy. He's a dude, as they like to say. All right. We'll probably be back tomorrow and then Friday for sure with Bob and Dennis. We'll break down some NFL. Maybe we'll do some college tomorrow for an hour or so. And is Kuminga signed? Maybe we can get into that. Do I have any inside information on the Warriors? I don't. I have no idea what's going on over there. I haven't talked to Steve in a few. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on over there. And so no, I didn't get beats. Sorry. No beats for me. Too old for that. No one wants to see those Saggies. LSU game was great. And I'll do that tomorrow too. You have to remind me because I do want to get into the LSU game. Fun atmosphere, 102,000. Just, I mean, the massive humanity in there is it's impressive, and it's pretty loud. Although I thought the soccer game over in Germany was louder. I thought the fans were louder, but great atmosphere. But to be honest, going to the LSU game, going to the Niner game, doing the Swamp Boat tour, got to see a whole bunch of Gators. Go Gator. Maybe the most impressive thing that I saw or went to was the World War II Museum in New Orleans. If you're ever in New Orleans, go to the World War II Museum if you're into that sort of thing. It was impressive. I mean, really was. That's right. We are Devo. Good special on, I think it's on Netflix, to the Devo special. Good stuff. But the World War II Museum, outstanding. Really was. The way they did it, the way it's laid out, it was awesome. Took us 3.5 hours to get through that thing. And I could have got another half an hour. We went till it closed. That's how cool it was. And that's how much time you can spend at the World War II Museum in New Orleans. So, all right, we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll recap the New Orleans trip, go over that, go over a little college football, talk about some of the NFL that's coming up. And yeah, look, with the Warriors, there's just not a whole lot to report. Kuminga has another couple weeks to figure out what he's going to do, accept the qualifying offer or not accept the qualifying offer. And then they'll start signing guys. Then you're going to see Horford sign, Melton sign, hopefully Gary Payton. So, but we'll see. We'll see. It's been the quietest offseason in the history of off seasons. Like just nothing. Waiting on one player. Oh boy. All right. Let's get one. Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard Pop's back on the air today. I heard he was already on. Good for him. That means he's feeling better. Greg Papa back. I don't know if he was doing a full show. I just heard he was going to be on. So I've been keeping kind of, we have a group thread. So I've been keeping up to date with him, and it sounds like he's feeling better. Still has some stuff to take care of, but good for him. And everybody misses him. I know a lot of people miss him on the air. A lot of people obviously miss him doing Niner games. He's just so great at what he does. So all of us here wish him the best and continued recovery, and keep getting better, and get your ass back on the air. Get your ass behind get your ass back behind that microphone where you belong. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining, everybody. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow. See ya.